So this lab slash assignment is pretty long, as you can see. It's about 3 pages. So they kind of start with a little bit of background information. There's a part 1. It's kind of a teacher modeling with some analysis questions. There's a part 2 where kids are actually engaging in part of the lab and then analysis questions. And then on page 3, lots more analysis questions. The point of it is that we want kids to understand the word semi-permeable and understand what the purpose of the cell membrane is in the cell. So we have this background information to start. It's just a small paragraph.
Okay. So first of all, if I was doing something like this in my ELA classroom, this is going to take me like 3 days to get through, because the first thing that we should do is close reading. So like if I look at my priority standards, my reading GLE is talking about knowledge of word relationships and nonfiction or informational text. So the first thing that I would do is, you can start by saying that we're going to talk about cell membranes, but then I'm going to do a close reading and I'm going to explain what that is to them, and then we're really going to talk about how to annotate it, because I think we should read through all this first and kind of circle things that they're not going to understand, because you just said something I don't understand, which is that semi-permeable. So
Right.
if that's what this is all about, then maybe we should make that like our ticket out the door question. Do you want to know if they grasp that, or?
Yes, because so my standard is conduct an investigation. So at this point, we're not telling them what semi-permeable means. They're going to figure it out through this lab. So a great
Okay.
ticket out the door would be to check and make sure they understand that word semi-permeable.
Okay, so then when we get to the end of this, before we have them do the ticket out the door, I'm going to do a mini lesson on one good sentence and really talk to them about what does that look like for just one sentence, so that we've got the CPUGs and everything that we need for conventions and stuff hit on that. So, okay, so then after we do that, like when I'm looking at this second part, so do they get stuck on words like, you have a vocab word here that says indicator? Is that something that they normally get stuck on?
Yes, it says iodine is an indicator for starch. So right then, kids are like, well, what is an indicator? However, if you continue to read, this means that it changes color in the presence of a substance. If it changes color, it indicates something.
Okay, so then here's where I want to teach them a strategy. So sometimes when we have a word that we don't know, it actually is in the next sentence, is the definition of it.
Continue to read.
Yes.
You might pick up clues to figure out what the word is.
So that's when I'm going to do like a little mini strategy talk there. Another thing that I'm noticing in this is it says you and your all over the place. Like I can't even stand how many times I'm seeing it. And I know you got this off a Teacher Pays Teacher, but we're trying to get our kids to write in third person, and when they put themselves in the writing, that diminishes everything in their credibility.
Okay,
So
I can actually edit this document and I can take out all of the you and your so that it is in third person, if that will help.
yes, but I do want to point out that to them.
Why? So maybe we just have them exit out and we ask them, why do you think I exited out?
Oh, yeah, I like that. So over
Okay.
here I'm going to say, we can make it a candy question. So candy question, why would we remove, or why do we replace it, and what would we replace it with? Yes, I love that. Okay. So now your analysis questions, that's usually where we lose a lot of kids. So of these 5 questions, like which ones do you really, really want all the kids to be able to answer?
So when you look at these, record your observations, explain your reasoning. I think that if they could just get that far, that could be like a meeting the expectation.
Okay, so what about the kids who that's just too much? What do you really want them to do? So our kids that they can only answer like one of those questions because that's about all they can take. Which one is the most
Really,
important?
the most important is this, number 7,
Okay.
getting them to number 7. Because number 5 and 6 would be good for kids really recording what you notice, but they may need us to help explain, get them to their reasoning. Why did the color indicate, what did the color indicate, and what does that mean?
Okay.
So the reasoning, this is the most important.
Okay. So we can talk about CERs because it has reasoning right there.
And then these are,
And then the only thing I'll say is I'll take the group that are having issues with the reading. We can have the kids who are meeting our expectations do it on their own, and then you can take the kids who need the extension.
yeah, and we'll dig a lot deeper with these last two questions.
Awesome.
Awesome.